Welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we are going to learn how to heat emboss. Now, this is a technique that's been around for a while. I remember when I was in elementary back in the 90s, I saw my mom heat embossing, and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. And at the time, Stampin' Up! Didn't have, well, really, many craft companies and stamp companies didn't have a lot of dies or embossing folders. Those products weren't out yet, and heat embossing was one of the only things you could do to your card to give it a little more oomph. And I loved watching the texture change on the paper. Even as a little kid, I still remember that. And I thought I would show you all how to do it. It's pretty inexpensive. Once you buy the stuff, you have it for a while, and you can create multiple different cards and projects with it, and it's just really fun. So I'm going to take you through how to do this and show you a card sketch that is really simple and you can use for other card designs with different stamp sets and things like that. So I will flip you around and we'll get started. Okay, so here are sample cards with the heat emboss technique, and today I'm just going to focus on using metallics. So Stampin' Up! Offers a set of gold, silver, and copper embossing powders, and they also offer white, clear, and black. But we're just going to focus on the metallics. So this is a card done with the Amber Autumn stamp set, which is this image here. And this sentiment is from the Beautiful Butterflies. And this is gold embossed on Blackberry Bliss, which I think just made a gorgeous card. This was very easy to create, and I also used crumb cake. This is also using the Amber Autumn stamp set, the pumpkins. And this is basic beige, crumb cake, gold, and early espresso is what I stamped the sentiment with. And this is the card we're going to be making today and the layout, and you can see this layout. I think it looks good with multiple different stamp sets, and it's just really, really simple. So here's another design with that same layout, and this is with silver embossing on Misty Moonlight, and this is using the ornamental Christmas stamp set. And this is Amber Autumn again, and using the copper, which I love. And this is on one of our In Colors cloud cover. And then I stamped this in Night of Navy. So those are the samples, and we're going to make one in white and gold using the ornamental Christmas stamp set, using the tree again. I think it would be really elegant. I'm someone who really loves color, and sometimes I just want to try things that are a little bit more simple and elegant, and I think the embossing technique is perfect for that. And I told you about the stamp sets. The only other elements that are in this card, these circles are from our Stylish Shapes dies. These are great. You'll use them all the time. If you had to buy one die set, this would be the one I'd recommend, and you will use it over and over and over again. And it's not very expensive either. So these are a good investment. And what's nice about it is most of the sentiments that come in the various stamp sets will fit on one of these shapes, so they come in handy. And then the last thing, other than cardstock, is the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I did want to show you it has like glitter, which I love glitter. Very pretty. And so for the different panels of paper on the card, I used paper from this set. Okay. Let's set this aside, and I will show you what you need to heat emboss. It's not a lot. All right, so Stampin' Up! Offers this embossing kit, and I use, let's see, I use 3 of the 5 elements, and here's our heat gun. This is used to remove static from your paper before you, let me bring this in as well. You also need this Versamark watermark stamp pad. So it's like a clear sticky stamp pad, and I'll show you how to use it. But you rub this on your paper before you stamp, and I'll demonstrate in just a minute. This I do not use as much, but I have seen people use it for like watercoloring, which might actually use it for that. This was intended to be used to, once you've put your embossing powder on your paper, to kind of get the flecks off so you don't have extra on your paper, but I don't really use this that much. But the kit I think is still worth it because you get things that you, oh, a hair. Okay, I'm shedding. Oh. Okay. The kit is still worth it because you get products that you're going to use every single time you emboss. This is one of my favorite things in the kit, and I use it for more than just embossing, but I'll show you how I use this. This is nice because you can, and I actually don't use this, but you can. I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people use it. You pour your embossing powder in here and then use it to apply to your card, and then you can open this. It is really nice because you can put it back in your embossing container, your powder container. So it just makes things a little easier to clean up. I'll show you what I use. I have these little boxes, and this is my gold embossing powder because we're going to use gold, and I will demonstrate how to use this in a minute. I don't want to make a mess, but I keep my embossing powders separated and in a container like this. I find that to be the easiest thing, but you can do it however you want. So let's go ahead and emboss. All right. And we have our heat gun here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You turn it on. This is much hotter than a hair dryer, excuse me. Some people, I think I saw a frequently asked question if you can use a hair dryer for embossing. You cannot. It's not hot enough. This is what you need, a heat tool. I'll have everything linked below if you're interested in trying this technique out. All right, let's start. We have our circles cut out here for the front of our card, and we have our Versamark. Let's do the tree first. So we're going to come in to remove the static from our circle die cut and this is on basic white cardstock. You just rub it around, and that removes the static. And then you're going to come in with your Christmas tree or whatever image you're going to emboss. Ink it up real good. And then, now this is going to be hard to see because it's going to be clear and it's on white, but you can kind of see the outline. At least I can. But in person, you definitely will be able to see it. Let's close it up. You don't want to get embossing powder all over your Versamark. Okay, open this up. And like I said, I love using this tool, and you can just clip it right there, and it just holds it for you. Gently come in, grab your embossing powder, and just pour it over your clear stamped design. And you can just let it fall off, and then just tap, and you can grab it and just tap it off. There you go. So this that comes with the embossing kit, you could come around and just tidy up where you see little flecks of gold. I personally don't mind having little flecks of gold sometimes, but sometimes, you know, you want something crisp. I just made that worse, so maybe there's a reason why I don't use that. No, I think it's a good tool. I have not played with it much. And they did not have that back in the 90s. They've come out with a lot of cool products since then. Okay. And really, this tool here is the most helpful when you go to heat emboss with your heat gun, because you do not want to burn your hands. And I've done that many times, especially before they had these tools. So, all right, you're not going to be able to hear me, but I'm going to use the heat tool, and I put it on, there's 2 levels, 1 and 2. I put it on 2 just because I like to get it really hot, and it's never messed anything up for me. I never really use the setting on 1. So I'm going to go ahead and emboss, and you'll be able to see, make sure I'm under the camera. Okay, you'll be able to see it turn into a foiled look. Okay, here we go. right, so there's our gold tree. You see how pretty that is and how foiled it is? I love that. Very simple. And then there you go. And you don't burn your hand, which is great. Okay, so we have our tree and we're done with the embossing for this card. Not much, but we do need our sentiment. And so we have our smaller circle. And we're going to use the Be Jolly sentiment from the Ornamental Christmas stamp set. Okay. All right, so black and gold. And let's go ahead and also stamp the inside of our card. What I like to do for the insides of most of my cards is I do a sentiment and then I take a little strip that is 1/2 inch by 4 inches long, and I put it at the bottom of my card just to decorate it a little bit. So I'm going to take the Merry Christmas sentiment and the Ornamental Christmas stamp from the Ornamental Christmas stamp set, ink it up. I love the script on this stamp. Okay. It's very bold and pretty. That there. You can go ahead and glue this down. Oops, I got ink on that. Well, hopefully I can cover it up. And I tell you what, I'm still getting the hang of this Stampin' Seal. Do any of you have issues with this? I'm just wondering if it's me. It does seem like when you first put the refill in, it's very sticky. It's harder to use, and then it gets a little bit easier. It's very sticky. And this just takes practice, getting this little 1/2 inch strip on. I'm going to put it up. I usually put it right at the bottom, but I'm trying to cover up a little mistake in my ink where I inked up my paper. So I'm putting it so there's a little bit of a border. Okay. That works. All right, so there's the inside of our card. I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to build our card. I'm just going to try to get any ink off of my fingers because this is a white card, and I don't want it to be black. Black ink on there. Okay, so let's assemble this, and I'm trying to remember for my cards. Okay, we put everything flat and then we pop up the sentiment. Okay, so for this piece of DSP, you are going to want to cut this at 2 3/4 by 5. 2 3/4 by 5. And then for this piece, which I did not show you the embossing folder, I believe it's called Forever Plaid. I love this one. You're going to cut this piece at 3 3/4 by 5. And then this is 2 3/4 by 5. And this is just going to go right in the center of that. So we're going to glue that down first. It is a rainy day here in Virginia. How is the weather where you live? I am so ready for fall and to wear sweaters. I usually love summer because with my health, I have Lyme disease. I've had it for quite a while, and I usually do better in the summer, but I don't know. It was just such a hot summer. I'm just ready for sweater weather and just to have a little bit of reprieve from the heat. But it has not cooled off a lot here yet. But I bet in other parts of the country it has. Okay. Right. And sometimes when you emboss a piece, it shrinks a little, and so this piece of DSP is a little bit longer, even though I cut it at the same place. So you might want to just trim it down a little bit, but it's not going to be super visible. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I have found with the Stampin' Seal, it's so sticky that you really don't need to put it on all 4 sides when you're gluing something down, because it will stay. It's very effective. Okay, and try to get this straight as possible. I need to make a bunch of Christmas cards. I'm trying to think of maybe a one sheet wonder class to do or video to do with you guys, to show how to use one sheet of 12 by 12 paper and make 8 to 10 cards with that. And you can just bust out several at a time. Okay, let me know what you think of that idea and if that's something you'd be interested in. Okay, for this, I'm going to use glue. So take your Tombow, monoliquid glue, or whatever you have, and just, well, I need a new one soon. Okay. Don't get it too close to the edge or else it will squirt out from your die cut image. It's the only thing with this glue, you have to be careful or else it will come out of the sides of your cutout sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna lie that flat and just hold it there for a few seconds. Oh, this white shows everything and I'm kind of making a mess. Okay, saved it again. Okay, I do love how clean and simple this is. And if I could just keep my hands a little cleaner. Maybe you all are better at that than I am. I don't know. I have a real problem with the black ink. Okay, so for our sentiment, we're going to pop it up on dimensionals. Grab those. And probably just needs 2. Okay. And let's see. What side do we want to do this on? I think this side. You don't want to cover it up too much. Okay. I love the black and gold. I think that looks good. Okay. And you could add gems if you want to, but I kind of like how simple this looks. And let's go ahead and glue the inside down, and then I'll show you all of the cards together. And let me know if you're going to recreate this or if this is the first time you've learned how to do heat embossing. I know it's been around for a while, but I think sometimes the basics are overlooked, and people who are trying to get into, you know, a new hobby, they want to know how to do just some of the basic things that really aren't that expensive either. So I hope this was helpful. All right. And if you didn't catch, oops, okay, here we go. If you didn't catch the measurements, or you want to know the colors I use, if you missed any of that, it will all be on my blog. But I think I shared everything here, but you can check that out, check my website out. I'm also starting to make some shorter form content, which has been kind of fun. So I'm just playing around with shorter videos, and I usually post this on Facebook, and I'll probably put them on Instagram, and I think I'm going to get a TikTok account too, just to see maybe there's some younger people that want to get involved in card making. Okay, so here are our, this one you've already seen. Here are 4 cards using metallic embossing powder, and I think these are just really cute and very fun, and you can choose any metallic you'd like, and it just makes a stunning card. So if you want any of these products, there will be a link to shop below. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoyed learning a new technique. All right, I'll see you guys later.